Hello, everyone. I'm no, I'm not muted. Okay, it's all good. I'm just winging it with a quick live stream. Um, I do plan on making a video later. Um, Hopefully this week or maybe next week, like an actual video with an actual subject. But as for now, just thought I'd come on. There's a few little news articles that I thought would work sort of fun or interesting, so I'll get into that in a second. Now this time I've actually pre-prepared the share screen, so I should be able to share screen pretty quickly. So I'm learning. I'm very slow to learn, but I do eventually get there. I'll also just see if anybody is about, if anybody hops on or wants to join the stream. They're quite welcome to. I've never actually even created the link before, but I can see a little invite button here. So I guess you press that and it creates a link, and then I can pop it in the chat if anybody wants to jump in. So, right, first thing. This makes me laugh. All right, I'm going to see if I can bring this up, right? This is, what was this? Metro, right? It makes me laugh. Man says he found baby Jesus in a packet of Rebels. He looks a bit shocked. Why is he so shocked? I mean, really, you get these, they just make me laugh. It's like, and yeah, I just don't get why do people do this whole thing if they think they see what looks like a depiction of Jesus. It's like it doesn't mean anything to me. I mean, I'm a Christian, I believe in Jesus was exactly who he said he was, but like, and some kind of image of him appearing in Rebels, I really don't think he's talking to us in that way. I really don't think he cares. But it's just, look at this, it's hilarious. I mean, it does look funny. It does kind of look like, from a nativity scene, like a baby Jesus. But that shocked face, though, that little. but but the thing is, right? The thing is with this is like all this stuff about baby Jesus and models of the baby Jesus and stuff. It's like, yeah, but he grew up. Everyone seems to forget that. It was like he didn't stay a baby Jesus. He had a mission. He had a plan. He grew up because as the man Jesus, he had a lot of things that he went and said and did. You know. So yeah, I don't know what this whole fixation is with the baby Jesus, but this just makes me laugh. What does this guy think that he's going to be blessed now because of the pack of rebels or what? I don't know. It's not quite how it works, but let's have a little read actually. Man says he found baby Jesus in pack of rebels. You can find God in the most unusual of places. Well, that's true, including a pack of rebels. That's right. A man has claimed he's found Jesus in chocolate form. Dude, I hate to break it to you, but Jesus lived like 2,000 years ago, and then around about the age of 33, he was crucified. But then he rose again after. He's not in a piece of chocolate, mate. Although he did say he would send the Holy Spirit, and the Holy Spirit is on the earth now. But I don't think the Holy Spirit's in this chocolate. I don't think he inhabits people. That's how we experience the Holy Spirit. But anyway, I digress. It just made me laugh. It actually looks quite good. I'm not gonna lie, it looks quite kind of funny. But it's just the face, the shocked face, like, ah! I guess all babies cry, Anyway, that was the first thing that caught my eye. I'll crack on to the US carries out its first successful test of the new hypersonic missile. Good job, boys. You're only about a year behind or something. Let's have a little read. So the US Air Force has carried out its first successful test of a new hypersonic missile as it looks to claw back ground in a superpower arms race with Russia and China. That's right, boys, you're behind. You were looking at all sorts of stuff to do with diversity and inclusion and all that stuff rather than actually building hypersonic missiles. Kind of maybe missed the boat there. The missile, an all-up round AGM-183A, I think that's a road, air-launched rapid response, man, this is such a long title, weapon, so ARRW, was fired off South California coast and traveled greater than 5 times the speed of sound before detonating in a controlled area. Now, I'm not going to lie, it is impressive no matter which country it is that's doing it. The fact that we can create these things, can go that fast is impressive. And the fact that they have any kind of level of control whilst at those speeds is, yeah, technologically. Let me just bring this up. There we go. Yeah, technologically, I'm quite blown away by the technology in terms of just the physics of it, the air resistance, and creating something with the fuel capacity and the delivery system to create so much thrust that it can go that speed, but then also have a navigation system and be able to turn and manipulate and stuff. It's like, I don't know. To me, I mean, maybe my brain's just not great enough to comprehend these things that well, but to me, I think that in itself is such an achievement. Um, but also kind of a little bit scary in terms of these hypersonics are very, very hard to intercept. From what I understand, pretty much nigh on impossible to intercept, which is really concerning. Um, More concerning the fact that obviously China and Russia got their way before the US allegedly, unless they just aren't playing all their cards. But I remember when the China one happened, it actually really caught the US by surprise, and they were actually a bit like, "Oh, whoa, hang on!" That it really caught them off guard that China had hypersonics already, and yeah, hopefully that was a wake up call because they need it, to be honest. They can't, I guess in defense of your country, you always have to be trying to be one step ahead, which it might sound odd as somebody who myself, I don't like war of any kind. I don't, I'd like going to sound like discongeniality or something. I want world peace. I really would like that, but personally, I don't think that's going to happen until Jesus returns. And there's a whole load of things I believe is going to happen before that, and big conflict basically. In human terms, I don't think we're really going to have the world peace that it would be nice, but that's because of my own personal beliefs with future and prophecies and things like that. Sorry, I've derailed my thoughts again. I do that a lot. What was I talking about there? Before I got onto the prophecy stuff, I've got to rewind back. I do this to myself. So I was talking about weapons. Oh, good grief! I've really derailed myself. Let me just go over what we're talking about. We're talking about hypersonics, China getting the edge, and let's come back. I've come back to it. The reason I was going to say it might sound odd for like somebody like myself, who I would rather there be less war. Why would I be sort of saying yes? You've got to be trying to be one step ahead in terms of like an arms race. And I think it was Winston Churchill, but I'm not entirely sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Winston Churchill was the one that said, if you want peace, you have to be prepared for war. So basically, in other words, if you want peace with your neighbor, you have to have the ability to be able to defend yourself against them. Otherwise they're going to roll all over you. So, in terms of, I guess I don't know. Maybe it's kind of that whole thing of an armed society is a polite society. If you've got a couple of guys who are just like no interest in fighting, but they're just out in the world together. If they've both got a gun on their hip and it's visible, they're more likely, in my opinion, to be fairly polite to each other because they've both got the ability to end each other. And nation-wise, it's like, if, for example, if you want to make sure that nobody's invading you, you need to have an army and weaponry and such that you can defend yourself. So yeah, it's not great to have to sort of, for nations to have to sort of develop, horrendous weapons of war. But I think if you want peace, that's part of it because, we're not in a perfect world. And so I think it's Churchill. In fact, you know what? I forget. I always forget that I've got Google right here. So let me Google it. Let me see. All right. If you want peace, war. Oh, there's actually a Latin saying. Okay, let's share this then. Let's have a little look at this. So I'll probably mispronounce this. Si vis pacem or pacem parabellum. Si vis. I obviously didn't study Latin. I'm not posh. Si vis pacem parabellum is a Latin adage translated: "If you want peace, prepare for war." So I'm guessing this may have predated Churchill. Maybe he said it at some point, like to reiterate it and made it sort of into the popular sphere again. But where is it now? I get the gist of it. Basically, Let's see. Let him who desired peace prepare for war. That's another sort of way of translating it. So yeah, basically, if you want to be able to look after yourself and defend your people, you have to have the ability to make war effectively. Not nice, but it's the way it is. So yeah, nothing much more to say about this article apart from they don't really give them very good names, do they? I mean, there could have been something a bit catchier than All Up Round AGM-183A Air Launch Rapid Response Weapon ARRW. It doesn't really roll off the tongue, does it? It's not like a shooty bang bang, or I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Something a whiz wuzzer, something very fast. But yeah, I think hypersonics are quite impressive. Quite impressive in terms of the physics and the and that kind of side of thing. But what was I going to say? Yeah, I remember what I was going to say. What I find even more impressive is some of the technology of like the intercepting stuff, like the Iron Dome system that Israel uses, where if like a mortar or a sort of homemade rocket or something is fired towards the southern in Israel, the sort of southern towns in Israel, the system will track it and figure out very quickly the trajectory of where this thing's meant to land. And if it's going to land in like an open field where the chances of it injuring anybody are very slim, they'll let it go. They'll do the warnings for people to get into the bomb shelters, and they'll just let it hit the field. If it's going to head towards a populated area, a place where there's buildings, then the Iron Dome will fire off its interceptor rockets. I mean, they're quite expensive. I think something like 100 grand a pop or something. So that's why they only use them when they have to. And this thing will not only go up in the air and then towards the incoming target, but like you think about the trajectories and the sort of physics of it, of a mortar round coming in to explode, for it to be able to pinpoint that, intercept it at the right angle and everything and speed to hit it and explode it. But then I think it even explodes it in such a way that it tries to break it up into such small shrapnel that when it falls down to the earth, it doesn't really do much damage, because if it just knocked it out of trajectory or whatever, you could still get big chunks of metal falling down, could still potentially kill people. And it's such an impressive thing to work that sort of stuff out. I mean, I can understand how it's done. I just don't. Yeah, it's just when you get into the nitty gritty of it, I think it's like, where do you even start with a project like that? But I guess that's why you've got very clever physicist types, like your fictional Sheldon Cooper types, doing equations and things and working out how you do these things. Yeah, and I just find it impressive what mankind has managed to build. Yeah, obviously it would be nicer if all of that effort could go towards nicer things than trying to kill each other and trying to defend against killing each other, but that's human nature, sadly, in the fallen world that we're in. Anyway, so that one just caught my eye, just about the hypersonics, the US doing theirs. Next one, let's look at the next story we've got here. So we've got SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket sends lunar lander rover on their way to the moon. So while the Orion spacecraft, a key part of NASA's Artemis 1 mission, is on its way back to Earth, with some really impressive imagery, by the way, if I just interject there. After going far beyond the moon, a new lunar lander from Japan and a small rover from the United Arab Emirates are now en route for a visit to our planet's lone natural satellite. So the Hakuto, I'm rubbish at pronouncing Japanese things. Hakuto are mission led by private Japanese company iSpace, launched from Florida early Sunday atop a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket. I love seeing this SpaceX stuff going up. It's good stuff. And to send its M1 lander to the surface of the moon, the lander is 8.5 feet by 7.5 feet, 2.6 meters by 2.3 meters when fully unfolded. So, yep, I wish it luck. I always like this kind of space exploration stuff. I find it interesting. Obviously, this is just an artist mock-up. That's not that accurate. The Earth, I think, actually looks a fair bit smaller than that from that kind of distance from the moon. But that's just me and my kind of autism kicking in and overanalyzing. Yeah, so good news. I quite like all that stuff going on. I'm pleased that the Orion one seemed to be a success. So I think next year is when they plan on actually sending up a couple of live humans to do the mission, and which I think also. No, actually, I don't think next year includes the actual visit to the moon. I think it's just the going around and coming back. I think it's the year after that they land on the moon. Correct me if I'm wrong. I might be remembering that wrong. Yeah, so that's that one there. So unless there's anybody in the chat to ask any questions, any AMA, I'm pretty much going to finish it up soon. Just a quick one, just looking at a few stories. I am going to create a video at some point. Shall I say the title? Yeah, may as well. I was thinking of titling it, Is the Devil a Lawyer? So yeah, I'll just leave that there. Is the Devil a Lawyer? That's going to be a little bit of an analysis video. Not actually calling out lawyers. There's a few of them on YouTube I watch that I actually quite like. But yeah, I'm going to work on that at some point. And then just if anything pops up in the news that takes my fancy, or any fun or interesting news, I will pop on and do a live stream. But that is it for now. I will say adios. Okay, I'll see you later, and the next time I do a stream. Bye.